Welcome back, everyone. Another day out at Fiesta Island. This one was an exciting one for me. Quick update, the last video was not actually Fiesta Island World Championships. I was corrected on that. And since there isn't a real good name for the Tuesday ride, I'm deciding to call it Fiesta Island Local Fun Times. So here we're at Fiesta Island on a Tuesday. Winds coming mostly west, a little bit from the north. And here, let's just do a quick lap sped up, and you can see the different sides and different positions you should be in. Here on the first side, the east side, it's pretty easy to draft, not too much of a crosswind. Right side might be a little bit more sheltered, but I didn't see much of a difference there. And here coming to the first turn, wind is definitely in your face. You don't get too much shelter. You want to make sure you're right on someone's wheel in front of you. And then coming around the really only sharp bend here on Fiesta Island, you want to make sure that you're ready to accelerate. Everyone's going to be accelerating around this bend and then slowing back down a little bit as the front riders have to adjust to this headwind. So coming down the backside, the riders on the outside lane here on the right side, but it's not as bad as it was last week. You still get a decent draft if you can close up the wheels like I should be doing in this clip. And it wouldn't be Fiesta Island without some Prius shenanigans. I'm finally learning to yell a little bit more, use my voice, notify everyone behind that something's going on, and hopefully the Prius can hear me as well. And coming down this last side, the south side, definitely a tailwind. Don't have to draft as much. If you can find an opening and go around some people, it's a great place to gain some spaces, especially if the field's slowing up and people are catching their breath before they go back into the headwind. Orange here decides to push me out of the way. He's ready to start racing. He's ready to start moving the pace up, really breaking up the field a little bit. It's still a big group on Fiesta. Not everyone's super skilled, and I'm guessing he was tired of the pace and the yo-yoing, and he's like ready. And people behind are yelling, one more, una más. And yeah, he's ready to start racing, but he heard everyone behind him decide, you know what, we'll wait for the next lap to really put the pace on. And I think I'm going to have one more turn at the front of the pace line, head to the back, and then it's the start of the race. And when I say race, I don't actually mean race. It's fun times. You know, the strong guys are going forward. Everyone else is slowly getting dropped off. And I was pretty happy with my performance today. I finished my pull. I'm on the back of the group now. And just getting some wind. I definitely should try to get a little bit closer to this tall guy here who had a very upright position. He just seemed to be on the tops pretty much the whole race. I got our camo chamois there going to the front. He knows what's happening. He knows we're starting up. Speed's picking up here. We're going 25 miles per hour through this last turn. And then you'd expect the pace to probably pick up. It could pick up on this downwind section just because drafting doesn't have as much of an impact. So if you can get the speed up, you can make it somewhat of a gap, and then into the headwind section, if you're stronger than the person who was on your wheel before you open that gap, you could open up that gap even more. So I'm trying to just make sure I stay on wheels. Don't try to close anything up too quickly because chances are that group's going to be able to close it up. At this point, we're just starting off, so we probably have 30 minutes of racing before someone calls out last lap. And here I'm coming up the inside. It's the sheltered side of the road. I'm just following this wheel. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Just come up the inside, try to get a bit close to the front, since after my time on the front of the pace line, I came to the back, knowing that we were going to start up, but I was like, okay, I'll just make up some spaces a little bit later, make sure I'm not behind a split. And it slows up here. I think it might have been a car in front, or everyone's just slowing up around this turn at the entrance because cars do have the potential to come in, and there's a bit of sand on the road. And here I see the guy on the left. He looks like pretty strong. He's ready to go up to the front. I'm like, okay, I'll sit on this wheel, get a free ride up to the front. You can't count on these opportunities, but when they present themselves, yeah, I'm going to take them. So now I can see the front, and He's going to pull through and do a little pull in the front. And I'm like, you know what? I could do that. I've seen people do that on YouTube videos. I've seen the NorCal cycling videos. Sure, I'll do a little pull. So I'm around 500, 600 watts, not quite 600, 500 as I come through. And I'm not trying to put too much effort, but I'm like, yeah, I'll do a decent pull. Maybe a few seconds. It's still early, and I know I don't have the energy or the stamina that some of these guys have, but I'm going to try to stick it around 300, 400 watts. And yeah, I flick my elbow, keep on the pace a little bit, and just try to get behind these strong guys that are at the front of the pack. And boom, look behind me. I wish I had a rear cam at this point and jump on the wheel. There's a little bit of a gap that was between these 5 guys in the front and the peloton behind us. I don't know if you really want to call it a peloton. Not everyone's as skilled. I don't include myself in that skilled portion either. And then we had some little wobbly wheels here. Everyone's just trying to stay as close into the draft as possible, but it definitely doesn't help with the confidence when our wheels are going left and right like this. People aren't holding a straight line. So now people are passing this guy with the SDBC kit on, and he's looking back. He's already looked back once to see who's looking, and I'm like, okay, is he not going to be able to close this up? And he does a little effort here, and he looks back again, and I'm like, I don't want to let them go. I can jump to them, and I'm like, I'm not carrying anyone with me. So boom, 1100 watts. That was the highest wattage I think my power meter's recorded so far in the month or so that I've had it. And maybe a bit too much power, but I really didn't want to pull anyone with me. And 400 watts just coming on the back of the wheel. Definitely don't have the energy to try to go around them and make a little pull into this headwind. If I was a bit stronger, I definitely think that would be a good thing to do. Show I was a little bit committed, but I don't think these guys knew they were away either. See a look behind there. They thought they were just pulling. They didn't really have the mindset, especially since we have, I don't know, 30 minutes left until the final lap. These guys were just ready to pull. And yeah, I just jump on the wheel. Yeah, here we're caught back up. And here is the mistake. I just say, oh, we're caught. And I'm just ready to go to the back of the pack, thinking I'm going to get a good draft. But everyone's pretty drawn out here. There isn't a real good pack that I can just sit behind. And so I shouldn't have let myself drop this far back into the peloton. Like, I see this guy in the white. I'm like, okay, I can jump on this guy's wheel. He's pretty big. I should get a decent draft. But I'm pretty far back here. And if some of these guys aren't as strong, there could be gaps opening up. So it didn't really make sense for me to lose that many wheels. It's not like I'm getting any more of a break than I would have earlier. And now it's a mad dash to try to get whatever draft you can in the tailwind section. Like, you think you're going fast. You're going 31 miles per hour. But you're still having to put in energy to do that. Here I'm opening up gaps. People are passing me. So I guess I was just a bit too gassed from that effort earlier. And I'm just dropping wheels here. Now, it's only 300 watts, and you saw me doing that earlier with no problem. But yeah, I'm just letting everyone go by me now. So I'm going to jump forward now, maybe a lap later. So here we are 2 laps later. Sun's in our eyes. Everyone's mostly on a wheel. Everyone's still patched up together. There aren't any groups off the front. A little bit surgy, and here's orange, and you can see that single speed. It's definitely impressive to be able to put that kind of power out. And we're in this headwind section, and everyone's on the left side of the road, so I get a decent draft just being on the right side here. The wind's coming from the left. And so I'm just trying to move up if I can, but there's kind of guys everywhere. And this guy in front of me was definitely tired because he was moving side by side. I wasn't trusting his wheel too much. You could definitely see the fatigue setting in. And now as we're coming into the headwind section, or I guess crosswind section, the pace really surges up. So we're going 24 miles per hour and quickly jumping up to 28 miles per hour, 29. and it keeps going up. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go into wheel. It goes into single file. Big guy in front of me. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a decent drop. Just stay on his wheel. Just stay on his wheel. People are dropping off the back. This is the guy on the left that I was holding earlier to just try to come up to the front. He was making some good moves earlier, and I was like, oh no, that's not a good sign. But actually, it's not bad because as long as I can hold on longer than he can, I'm not in the worst position. And everyone's dropping off here, and it's up to this guy to make the bridge, and I cannot hold his wheel here. Maybe I could have anticipated a little bit more the amount of effort he was going to put in. But you can see the group going off there, and my GoPro dies not too long afterwards. Everyone's kind of strung out here. No one has a good pace line to bring it back, and I think these guys just stay together. But thanks for watching, guys. More Fiesta Island footage to come, maybe some San Diego Bike Club Saturday rides and races as well. Let me know what you thought, if you think this is a good length, or if you would like me to trim it down a little bit more, and I'll see you in the next one.